Lawrence Greenberg here for SiMX. This is the second half of the tutorial where we extract data from the header and footer of a PDF. Extracting the data from the footer seems fairly straightforward. Why not do it the same way that we extracted the title from the header in the first half of this tutorial? Well, the reason we can't just parse the data and feed it to the output field object like we did with the title and the header is that the date value occurs in the very last record. Well, by the time you extract the date value, all of the records have already been processed. In order to extract data that will be applied to all of the records from the end of a file, we'll have to put the delimited records into a buffer with TextConverter's method this add to buffer function, and then process them at the end of the run with the onFinishProcess function. Open the sample project, extract second level data, and follow along with me. First, I get the data ready. I'll store the delimited records in a buffer and the other data in variables. On line 1, declare a global variable PDFDate to store the date that you'll extract from the footer. Declare a local X to look for the date, and then use VBScript's built-in trim, mid, and in string to grab the data from the footer for testing. Use VBScript's isDate to test X for dateliness, and update the PDFDate variable. Use TextConverter's add to buffer method to put all the records, other than the header and the footer, into a buffer. When all the records have been processed, we unload the buffer and the variables into the output fields. Declare two local variables, I to cycle through the records, and J to cycle through each of the fields. Create a nested set of for loops. The outer loop cycles through the records, and the inner loop cycles through the fields. In the outer loop, update the title, date, and file name with the data that you collected from the header and footer records. Click Check Syntax to check for errors. Look at the Preview tab. That looks good. Run the project. And then we'll use the data browser to look at the results. Wow, that looks good. That is a beautiful thing. SiMX TextConverter is the most efficient way to extract, transform, and load data.